Hey, it's Jeremy from Jeremy.net. I am a comic book artist, writer, creator, self publisher, and I share my creative process here with you online. If you enjoy these live streams, would like to get additional bonus live streams twice a month, you can head on over to patreon.com/Jeremy. That's patreon.com/GERIMI. For as little as $2 a month, gets you in the door. It's higher tiers for higher rewards. If you would like to get a free digital sketchbook, work in progress animated GIFs delivered right to your inbox, blog posts about what I'm reading, what I'm watching, what's inspiring me creatively, you can sign up for my free newsletter at substack.com/@Jeremy. And if you'd like to purchase physical copies of my comic books or if you read digitally on Kindle, you can go to amazon.jeremy.net. That will forward you to my Amazon author page. And the website forwarding link is working again. I got that fixed. So you should be able to click on that and head on over, check those out. And I've got my co-pilot here today, Khaleesi. She's hanging out. I had to put her as close to me as possible because she just is in that kind of mood for wanting some attention. So it's either that or just have her yowling and pawing at me the whole session. All right. So I, for once, was actually able to get some work done during the course of the week, get some personal work done. Now, I still have some fixes and some tweaks to make to this cover. I mean, overall, I'm fairly happy with how it. What? She's putting her little paw on me, like holding my arm, like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, don't delete that. I'm not going to delete it. Relax. So it is, I feel like it's 99% of the way there. I still need to make some revisions to the logo and get that, I don't know, looking the way I want. It's still not 100% where I want it to be. I'm overall happy with it, but still need some tweaks and adjustments. However, the more important challenge that I have in front of me is the face of Pandora. Her face just does not look like how I want it to. I mean, she looks like a warrior. She looks like she's determined, but unsure, a little bit frightened. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with everything in the piece. I just don't feel like her face looks like what I wanted her face to look like. Now, for some context, if I go back out to some of my expression sheet pages, originally I had done some rough sketches. Let me turn this page on. So the actress Tessa Thompson was kind of who I was thinking of for the face of Pandora. And I did sort of a sheet of just sketches trying to work out the face. Also, looking at some different components of her costume, trying to figure out how I want her to work. Now, overall, I'm happy with her costume, but I feel like the face that I have just doesn't reflect the actress that it was inspired by, nor does it reflect the way I really want the character to look. This one is kind of close, but still not quite there. So, and then here is just another sheet that I did that was just vaguely just me trying to do her with different expressions, different facial features, trying to move her features around, trying to do her with different attitudes, surprise, anger. I think I was doing these on the live stream at one point. But anyway, this was an attempt at an expression sheet. And for reference, I'm going to flip over here to my photos. So here is an expression sheet from the animated film Tangled. And originally, I had thought these were Glenn Keane expression sheets because Glenn Keane did do a lot of the designs on Tangled. But I believe from what I found online, this particular set is from the South Korean animator Jun Kim. So I apologize if I'm misattributing this. I'm pretty sure that it's Jun Kim, even though originally I did think they were all Glenn Keane. So it would not be the first time that I thought something and turned out to be wrong. because I'm wrong all the time. Anyway, what we're going to do this session is I'm kind of trying to go back to, I don't want to say a blank slate, but I'm starting with the face that I currently have in the illustration. And I see Herman's in the chat. Hey, Herman, what's good? What's going on? Yeah, things are good. I started off the stream showing the progress that I made on the cover. So I still need to work on the logo itself, but overall, I'm happy with this cover. I'm just not happy with her face. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm just working on redesigning her face. So really, this is just going to be a session where I'm really going to focus more on just sort of free sketching and trying to have some fun with it, trying to really find the character, find her vibe, find her energy. And like I said, I've got these June Kim Tangled expression sheets over here. Well, an expression sheet that I've got over on the side to kind of look at as inspiration while I go. So I'm just gonna sit down, sketch, have some fun, see where it takes us. Let's see here. I'm going to choose a pencil that is not completely black. And I'm going to put it on a low opacity so I can build up a little bit. Herman says, give her that Angelina Jolie and Thelma from Good Times vibe. There you go. You're done. See, you know what? I like that. The problem is that I simply cannot. I wish that I could just not like. I always have to find it on the page. I'm not one of those people who, oh, now that I know what the inspiration is, I can just draw it because I already have the inspiration. Originally, it's in this file. I don't need to go to a different file. I started talking about this in the beginning of the stream, but originally I was designing the character's face around Tessa Thompson. That's who I was kind of inspired by to make Pandora sort of built around her because she has, very beautiful features, but very strong, like warrior, power and beauty. That's what I was going for. And I feel like she really captures that. So that's who I was going for. But I didn't get that down on the page. And so I thought, well, what if I just sit down and start with the character and just do sketches? So, by the way, the Discord channel is open. If any of the patrons want to hop on and chew my ear off while we're talking, we're always happy to have an audio company while we're doing this. Friend of the show, Jim Lujan, has a question for me and for the gang. He says, can you name a film in any era that you consider to have really great marketing, logos, trailers, branding? Yes. I will say, first off, a great film that has great marketing. I'll try to think of three. But number one, I would say The Matrix. I would put The Matrix at the top of that list because, that they created a whole genre with that overall green cast that all of the imagery had. You created kind of a unified brand. And even with starting out with what is The Matrix? And then having that mystery website that you could go to where you could see early just images and flashes of things and Keanu Reeves getting stuff crawling into his mouth and then slowly leaking out and building the imagery. And then the full-on just not black and white, but the movie posters for that franchise. All of them, even though Keanu was the star, they really tried to play up the team sense in the very first movie. So, Trinity had hers, Morpheus had his poster, Tank, all the other guys. I don't know if Tank got a poster, but I know that a lot of the other actors are the members of their crew in the original one. They all got their own posters, and they were really strong in The Matrix, even in the sequels, of giving other characters in it very iconic looking movie posters. So I would say The Matrix. Now, a movie that I think had excellent marketing, although the movie itself did not live up to the marketing, was Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut did kind of the very mysterious sort of Rosemary's Baby, like, what is this? You don't know what's going on. Just air of mystery and flashes of very seductive imagery, all the people in the robes and the masks and very gothic. The movie itself, here's the thing. I enjoyed Eyes Wide Shut, but enjoying it and saying that it's a good film are two different things. I think that it's a difficult film to enjoy because it's just an esoteric film. It's an odd film, even for Kubrick. Let's see here. Oh, Herman mentioned I'm on the mic, just muted, just to let you know. All right, cool. Anytime you want to jump in, let me know. In fact, let me make sure that I just realized that because I had muted or I turned the volume down on my laptop earlier. I just want to make sure that if you do jump in, that I'll be able to hear you. Let's see here. In a third movie, I want to say, honestly, I mean, all of the Star Wars movies tend to have really great branding and marketing and trailers in terms of getting the word out there. Yeah, Jim says Eyes Wide Shut. I loved it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I enjoyed the movie, but I can see how a lot of people that just felt like it was pointless and didn't necessarily go anywhere or make a lot of sense. Like, I can see people coming away with that feeling, but it was really just a man struggling with fidelity and trust. That's really all the movie's about. Is just struggling with trust in a marriage. That's all. It's pretty simple. It's just dressed up in a lot of very mysterious. But that's the thing. The things that the specific criticisms people have of Eyes Wide Shut are the things that I enjoy about it. I enjoy that it's weird, that's mysterious, that it leaves a lot of things unsaid. See? But it's a divisive ass movie because Herman just said Eyes Wide Shut was nasty. He said it was nasty, man. Jim says, I actually thought the first Fast and Furious had really good marketing and branding, even though it wasn't exactly my cup of tea. I think all of the Fast and the Furious movies have really good marketing and branding. I mean, it's just because when you go to see a Fast and Furious, part of the idea of branding is you've established a brand. And when you go to a Fast and Furious movie, you know what you're going to get. Now, that said, I think I've only seen like 3 out of the 10. I saw like the first 2, and I think I maybe saw the first one with The Rock. But yeah, there's a lot for me to catch up on. And truthfully, I do actually want to see them because they look like just fun action movies that don't take themselves seriously. And if you know that's what you're going for, then like, not every movie has to be high cinema. They can't all be Schindler's List. Sometimes you can just go watch a big, dumb, fun action film. I'd say the last one I can come up with off the top of my head is honestly another movie that, again, divisive. The problem is I can't think back in terms of like old films, and because when I was like a kid growing up, there's lots of great films that came out in the 80s that probably had excellent marketing. But I probably didn't pay attention to the marketing well enough to really understand. I will say that the very first Nightmare on Elm Street and just that image of Heather Langenkamp with the Freddy's claws like over her in the bed, that imagery in the movie poster, that was just terrifying but stunning. And it was a beautiful painting. I mean, I don't know if it was Bernie Fuchs, but it definitely had that Bernie Fuchs feel. Like it totally looked like kind of a Bernie Fuchs sort of Bill Sienkiewicz / vibe. Part of that is the light glinting off the claws. When this stream is over, I'm going to go look up who did that poster because it's an amazing poster. There goes Herman. What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Let's see.
A little bit. Yeah, but I'm good. Trying to wake up some.
Well, you and me both. I was up working late last night, working over the weekend, so I'm.
Yeah, I got off at 7 o'clock this morning, so like I'm struggling.
Let's see. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my boy Jerry. He's in chat. He says, "Hey Jeremy, long time no see. Hope your art's coming along well." And he's also in terms of the trailer movie things. He said, "I saw Rima Williams on the VHS a lot." and also yeah, Rima Williams, The Adventure Begins. That it was one of those movies that like you don't see that kind of movie anymore.
Right. I was just talking to it was some guy that he has a YouTube channel where he was complaining about Superman movie. Like I mean he got a home surround system, whatever. He was just talking about how he didn't really I don't know, it was like he felt like it was missing something. And I was like, well, I'm like, what is he complaining about? And he was like, he saw the movie, he liked the movie, but at the same time, it just still felt like it was missing something. I said, the only reason why you said it because you miss Henry Cavill. That's the only reason why you acting like this. I said, the movie's going to be, you know. And but he also started complaining about, you know, the sound quality, and I was like, yeah, you know, movies today like sound quality is like it sounds like a mesh of a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like it isn't like how the old, like I mentioned, like the Rima Williams and the Last Starfighter and those movies back in the day. I said old school movies, they use like that analog style, even like even just like an old Michael Jackson or old record, whatever. They use that old stereo sound when you can hear things in different headphone set, almost like virtual sound. I mean, yeah, they got theaters that do that stuff now. Yeah, Last Fight, well, there you go. Last Fight Starfighter was the joint.
Sure. Yes, that was a classic.
I was like, yo, I like sound. I like, and I said a lot of these movies are missing that, and I think he was kind of contributing to that, but he was kind of complaining on play. But I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. I think our movies was like another movie that was like dumb. It's like I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren. It was a goofy movie, but still sound quality, and it felt like an action movie, even though it was kind of like not that great. Like kind of like Commando. Commando was amazing also, you know. But I don't know. People just.
You know, Commando was written. Wait, is it Commando? Or yeah, I think Commando was written by Jeff Loeb.
Was it?
Yeah.
So hard, there.
Yeah, I think he. I want to say that he got his start screenwriting before he got into comics.
His daughter was my baby back in the day, Alyssa Milano, but now she kind of switched up on us. she was cute when she was young, though.
Yeah, people change, people evolve. I see SourceForge is in the chat. Hello, happy Sunday, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I guess we're doing movie talk now. You know what? Wait. When you said the friend was complaining, was he complaining about the new Superman, the James Gunn one?
Yeah, but he said he paid the money. He left a friend. I mean, I don't know the guy, but like he went to the movie and he paid for everything. Like he went and popcorn, all that. He said he bought tickets and stuff like that, but he was still complaining about him. But see, the thing about it, he said he didn't know the movie was good and everything, but he said he don't know what it was that was missing, because he said it felt like it was missing something. I said you probably, because that wonderment, like when you used to go to the movies when you were a kid. I said you're probably just getting old, just don't have, you know, the love for it like you used to. I mean, I said you claim you're a fan. I'm like, you probably don't have, like, because I was like, they're gonna make 100 Superman movies before me, like when we're dead and gone. So just appreciate what the one that they made right now. Because I mean, I said it's okay. It you know, it could be better, but at the same time, I'm like, I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. You know, I didn't think it was like Man of Steel. I said, but Man of Steel is out there. I can just go ahead and throw Man of Steel on if I feel like I want to watch Man of Steel. So just stop it. Like, these people just don't really have a really good reason why they just complaining about something. But people have their opinion, of course. But I'm like, but yo, sometimes it's like, just show. Just like appreciate. That's why I'm like, I don't like when people be hard on projects and stuff, or getting hard on not realizing that it's somebody behind creating these designs. People coming up with like work to create this stuff, and people just come out with these flat out, just like, man, that was trash. oh man, that video game is like, no. It's like it doesn't, it's over, it's trash. You can't do this, you can't do that, man. I'm like, these people haven't picked up a pen, paper, or I ain't trying to be mad at fans, but I'm just like, come on, like just kind of appreciate the moment, like you never know how long you got on this planet, and you just want to complain about just like the tiniest thing that just doesn't really make any sense, based on the internet, when they say Beyonce's internet, whatever, like we supposed to be having like aliens come, come in the next few weeks, you know what I'm saying? Black aliens, whatever. Like I don't know, man. It's just crazy.
Well, I mean, people have a right to their opinions, and but I have a right to ignore their opinions.
Right, there you go. Right.
So I don't let that get thrown. I don't let that throw me. Now wait a minute. Yeah. Jared mentioned Mark Lester directed Commando. Now I am not familiar. I know the name, but did Mark Lester also work on The Last Starfighter? Is that the connection, or is it just because we mentioned Commando? Because I'm trying to think. I don't remember what else Mark Lester did. I just know that I know the name.
If he did, he's a man among gods. He created 2 classes there. There you go. Mark Lester did.
Oh, Sorfor just spilling some tea. He said that he worked with Mark Lester on a movie called Groupie. He said he was cool, kind of drug-addled, no offense, but I thought he was nice. So, well, that's not real tea. I mean, hey, 80s was a crazy time. People were doing a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm selling stuff like that. Check that. I was telling you, I said, if you want to watch movies that got sound quality, I said, check Commando out. Check I Come in Peace. Check out Never Ending Story. Enemy Mines has pretty good soundtrack.
You know what? I never saw that in the theaters. I only saw that at on video.
They need to make it over, but at the same time, I'm feeling like they shouldn't, because they have like classic actor
Louis Gossett Jr. Yeah.
And then it has Dennis Quaid. It's such a weird movie. You would never think that movie would have been great, but like, if you watch that movie, it's a simple movie. It's so simple, but it's like, but it pulls you on the feels, it's crazy. Like these.
Well, I thought that it was a remake of a World War II film, and it was the idea of an American and a Japanese soldier stranded on an island together, and they just changed it to Earthlings and Aliens.
Yeah, it was exactly. It's a classic, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it could be in the 60s, right? Well, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of great movies out there. It's just that now I just feel like as far as like this generation and how they go about it, they I don't know. It's like you would think that people would go back and look at old stuff to kind of pick up, like some pointers, whatever. I'm like, if you like sound or something like that, go find somebody that you know or something that you like that they like, wow, that sounds something good. Who does? Then you come to find out there may be 1 or 2 people that might be like that might have been the master of that stuff back then. You know what I'm saying? Like just focus on the stuff that they're doing, and then you can try to mimic and emulate that. But see, now we got a new generation of people that's kind of like on this, like, I could create beats in my room and stuff like that. But but I'm like, it's different if you had Quincy Jones over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when you doing the stuff and it's like, yeah, it might sound good, but then not half the time, like I said, a lot of people use like, look, I like the guy that Undercat, whatever. And his music sounds good, but like I don't know who his engineering group is, because I'm sure this guy's like probably in his 30s or something, close to 95, close to 40s. But I'm thinking that a lot of them people that are like in that age range, they're like they don't really, a lot of them don't really do research to try to find out what sounds good. Like, and so a lot of this music, I've noticed that a lot of the old music, it just sound like they just like did everything in one mix, and it's just like you don't hear no separation. Like, okay, like when somebody's like screaming, like in a I don't know, like in a clip or something like that, and when you hear the song, you don't hear the voice travel from one ear to the next, anything like that. It just sounds like one flat ass this like mix. It just sounds horrible.
Well, yeah, but I mean, for all we know, that may not be the musician. That may just be the platform that we're listening to it on. Because if you're listening on Apple Music or on iTunes, it's different than if you're listening to like Sonos or listening to on Beats, but you may just be listening to something where the feed you're getting is a super compressed mix.
That's the problem. I mean, because see, I know for a fact if I'm going to watch a James Cameron movie, I know what I'm going to get. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to watch a George Lucas movie, that's if you make him again. I think they said he might be coming back. I'm not sure, but I know what I'm going to get. I know I'm going to get that sound quality. I know he's going to put that movie or make sure he has the best people, like, you know, to create that quality. Like, and a lot, I noticed the difference. Like when you watch those movies, even though they like some of the older Star Wars movies, they really like the ones we started making in 2000. Yeah, but still, them sound mixes still sound dope as hell. You know, they still sound good. Because, he was the man. It's like how you gonna be like the man that created all this stuff like in the late 70s? Like it was him, and like, you know, people and Steven Spielberg, they always used to hang together. Like their movies tend to be the ones that was like always jumped out, and people always kept going back and forth to go watch these movies over and over and over again because of what people getting out of their movies and like the sound, I like all that stuff. Like you get that experience. Like all that stuff now, just I don't know, just don't. Like I said, when you mentioned that about Superman, I was like, maybe maybe he was right about some stuff, but just like in sound quality, it's just horrible. Like it's just horrible. it could be better, you know. It could be better. Just do research, man. I'm like, for instance, like I mean, I'm not that great at certain things. I mean, so you just go out and look. So that's why I found you. I can see like how you do, you know, certain stuff, you know, that's like different than what I do. I'm like, so I'm like, and it's like, see, I'm picking up on, I'm learning from like how you investigate or how you.
Well, I love research. That's the thing. For me, I thought that I do too much research.
No. See, there's never too much to somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. You know what I'm saying? If they don't know what they're doing, and like my thing is like I'm gonna go find somebody that knows what they're doing because I'm trying to find something that I'm looking for, and I'm like, boom, it's like, I'm like, yo, this dude, like, I'm like, yo, I be thinking about some of the same things, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, I'm like, he's going a step further. Maybe I need to go a step further when I'm searching and looking for things, you know, help me out, you know. So I'm like, nah, man, like that's a good trick. Believe that. Believe me, if we out in the wilderness and you over talking and you talking about like what you can find and stuff, like I'm gonna be listening to German. You trying to survive, James, like you trying to, whoever it is, like they're running about, man, I'm tired of this. No, I'm gonna listen to Jeremy. No, start. Let's figure out what we got to do. Like, yo, get them sticks over there. Yeah, okay, Jeremy, we're gonna get them sticks. We're gonna make a fire, or whatever. And
well, I mean, I wish I was a Boy Scout as a kid, but I didn't keep up with, like, I haven't been camping in probably 20 years, 15, 20 years. I'm not the one for telling you how to survive in the great outdoors. Once that's the other thing. It's like, I know my limitations. But no, I mean, research and how it plays into, I mean, a lot of times I think that we don't necessarily get to see all of the research that filmmakers do.
Right.
You know, or sometimes there's research and it's pulling on references that I'm simply not familiar with. That's one of the reasons why I love the behind the scenes documentaries, because sometimes it's like I'll be listening and I'll hear them talk about some creator and I'll be like, a filmmaker, a novelist, or screenwriter, and I'm like, oh, I need to go check that out. Right. Like for instance, I love David Fincher. David Fincher made a movie on Netflix that I still have not had a chance to watch yet, but he made a movie called Mank about a screenwriter and filmmaker, Joseph Mankiewicz, and he worked both, you know, screenwriting for others and then directing films of his own and directing films that other people wrote. And right now I'm listening to a podcast called The Plot Thickens. And it's hosted by a guy who does TCM, the movie channel. Like he does host stuff for them. And Joseph Mankiewicz is his uncle. And he's right now he just tells like stories about old Hollywood. And right now he's telling a story about Cleopatra with Elizabeth Burton and
is it Elizabeth Taylor?
Yeah, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. And
Okay.
they're talking about, because again, it's a movie that I've never seen, and
Yeah, me either.
and I don't know if I necessarily want to see it, only because they talk about how much of a disaster the film was. But it all just ties in that, like, I mentioned David Fincher because obviously the guy is an extremely talented, not Fincher is extremely talented, but Joseph Mankiewicz is extremely talented, and that's why they called him to try and rescue a film that he wasn't even supposed to direct it. They had somebody else directing it. It was going way over budget. The screenplay was like kind of off the rails. It fell apart, and then they were like, well, we need to get a new director. And Elizabeth Taylor had worked with Mankiewicz before and was like, no, I love him. He was responsible for getting me like my first Academy Award nomination. I want Mankiewicz. And so they came, how they do, they back up the Brinks truck and they're just like, hey, we'll come in and save this production. And he went on and did it, and the thing damn near killed him. So I'm enjoying hearing stories about that. But the other point is that it makes me want to now go and look, all right, that movie may have been a train wreck. What are some other things that Mankiewicz has done besides just writing Citizen Kane that I haven't seen that I would like to learn more about? So, I mean, yeah, there's tons of research and reference and things that inspire people that, a lot of times, like, that's the main thing I love, is finding a new person who is a creative genius that I just didn't know about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Me too. Like all the time. Like I said, I turned on Beyonce's internet and I found you on here. I was like, I was just like skim through and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I found another gem. Like, there's a lot of people like that's doing some amazing stuff. Like God does animation. He like Disney style animation, AMV animation. He's amazing, and just I mean, you can learn a lot from people. Like I'm seeing like how Jim the show. Like when I saw Jim, I was on his Patreon page up, looking at some of the animations and stuff that he did. I'm just like, yo, and it's like that's a lot of work, Jim. Like that's a lot of writing and a lot of animating and stuff. But I think stuff he did with God, it does all the weird animation. Plimpton.
Oh yeah, Bill Plimpton and their collaboration.
Right.
I mean, well, Jim is like Plimpton 2.0. It's like for the longest time, Plimpton was doing a lot of stuff. For years, was doing a lot of stuff on his own, and then he built up a studio. But Jim just comes in and he's like, yes, he works with voice talent, but he does a lot of the voices himself. Right, storyboard, music, like John Carpenter. That's it, Jim. That's what you are. You are John Carpenter meets Bill Plimpton. That's what you. It's amazing.
So I was like, if people can learn from like people like that, because yeah, I messed around, did a little here and there, like nothing that I can, but like you got like cowboy, like the work, like this stuff, like like I'm gonna sit my ass down, I'm gonna do this animation, write this. So that's a lot of work, yo. So then it makes me feel like a bum. I feel like I haven't tried hard enough. You know what I'm saying? Like when you actually communicate with people, that's like especially like here, like I mean, that really did something. Like really, like did their own thing. That's the good thing. I like stuff like that. Man.
Yeah.
Like, well, when you start feeling like, man, I don't know if I can't do that, whatever. Then got Jimmy here showing up people, making movies and shit. So like, great. I'm like, yeah, it's called just taking the time and just sitting down and just getting it done, with your ideas.
Well, you know what? I mean, that's part of the challenge, is just sitting down and finding the time to keep working on a concept. I mean, the fact that I'm just working on a simple cover. And I'm like, now the face ain't right. I gotta do like pages of sketches until I can figure out why the face is broken and isn't working for me. Oh, I just went back to the comments real quick. Jared mentioned another one. Did you ever see The Class of 1999?
What is that movie?
It's an old ass movie where it's like a crime-ridden school, and the kids are just running wild. They are like it was wilding out before wilding. It was wilding out before white people. It was just like it was almost like Escape from New York, but set in a high school. And this one teacher comes in and he's just an absolute psycho. And he ends up like murking some of the students that are like going around because like the students are like murdering teachers and raping them. And it's just like it was like at the height of like urban decay in like films where they were talking about the country's falling apart, crime is everywhere. And to be fair, New York was pretty nutty. But it was that's a movie that I think could be remade now and be an interesting film. But it was, man.
I was thinking like, what would 3 O'Clock High look like today? Remember that?
That was a comedy, right?
Yeah, it was a comedy about a boy that was about to get beat up after school at 3 o'clock. Like the whole day, he was trying to like do all kinds of things to try to get out of like fighting this guy at the end of the day. Like it was like the whole movie just in school the whole day. Like he kept looking at the clock. It was 9 o'clock. Next thing you know, it'd be 10 o'clock, and it's like he was doing all
just watching the clock.
To the point he was going through all kinds of different emotions, whatever. To the point where he was crying, you know, like he's scared, like you know, and to the point where he was like eventually going to have to fight the bully at the end of the movie, you know. So yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good movie. I'm like, but I mean, who would care enough to, you know? Yeah, it is a classic. It's hilarious, but class. Oh no, I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, Jim says Class 99. He said just saw it on YouTube. So yeah, you can at least check out the trailer, but it's probably available on there. Well, Jim, you deserve your flowers, man. You bring the heat. You are a one-man animation miracle.
Right.
I mean, for me, I was just thinking about the fact that, I mean, we all feel like what's crazy is I'm sure even Jim feels like he doesn't get enough done. We all feel like we don't get enough done, even though Jim is just doing laps around everybody. But,
you can start it first.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, for me, it's just one of those, I keep thinking about like, why do I keep slowing down? Like part of me, for instance, I could have just said, all right, I finished the cover. It's done. Let me just fix and finalize the logo and then move on with it. But this is going to be the first cover of the series. It's establishing the tone, and I'm not happy with the character's face. So it's like, it's that. Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, well, that's the thing. I feel like if the face felt like how that's the thing. It's not that the face is poorly drawn. It just doesn't feel like the character. And that's the tough thing, because I'm usually pretty good about looking at something, assessing what the mistake or problem is, and fixing the mistake. And then saying, all right, now the drawing is fixed or the painting is fixed and it's done. But this is about just feeling. What does the character feel like? And I haven't established that properly. And that's when you're dealing with that stuff, it's a lot more esoteric. It's like I'm just sketching until I like, oh, that feels like what it is.
I have a question. Like when I remember when you in the original, when you did the drawing, like I noticed that you had like the rat head, whatever. I'm like, and I like that part. And I feel like you blocked off his ears. I wanted to see that part of his head for some reason, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's still there.
It's still there, but you got the logo.
Maybe you make a good point, and maybe the fact is I just put something behind it so you can still like basically maybe you may honestly right there you may have just changed the course of the comic, because I was sitting there thinking about what I was going to do, because look, and this is why art isn't created in a vacuum, because see in the original, so here's the original thumbnail. And in the original thumbnail, I had like my name at the top, the book name in the middle, and it was going to be framed by sort of a Greek styled paneling, and then have the actual like subtitle for the book underneath. And you couldn't see the ear in the thumbnail, but I always try to think about what if I want to make posters and how is it going to look without the logo on it. Right. So that's why when I did the actual thing, I drew it like taking into account no logo, no trade dress, just what does the whole image look like? Because I wanted it to just work on its own as an image of like a woman protecting an infant fighting a giant rat creature. So
what? Because like I mean, so so you already picked the color scheme as far as like the blue, because that's like the complementary colors right there. That's like blue, purple, orange, which is good. So
this is the thumbnail. So I worked out all of the colors before doing the actual illustration, because I have found a lot of times I will go into the illustration and I'll finish it, and then I start coloring it, and I'm like, well, none of this works.
Yeah, throw that text up there again. Like, but my thing is like, so now what you need, I mean, if that's gonna be your what's name, you need to figure out a color or a tertiary color, whatever that we can see. Because I think a lot of times what I have an issue with stars, like when I'm watching movies with closed caption, with the closed caption on it, the text don't never. It's like the color, and they have the wrong colors, whatever, or wrong size, whatever. And maybe like you could pick a color that's going to stand out, but it's also in harmony with like the blue and the orange. Because white is good, but at the same time, it's like is it big enough? I mean, maybe it could be like another color or something, but something where you can see like the G, I can see your name and stuff like that. Because from a distance, it looks dope, but I'm just like, I don't know, maybe because it's small. But I'm like, if it's if I'm holding the book, I'm like. But at the same time, I think you want to be able to see the text.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm probably going to do take the finished illustration and bring it into Illustrator, and then do different. I'll try to putting strokes behind it, drop shadows, different things to try and make it pop. I mean, honestly, doing something like this could work.
I like that now.
I just threw it on.
I want to see the rat. I want to see him too. And I like that better. I like that better.
That might be the, and this is part of the thing is normally in the past, I would just be whiling away and not show anything until I have what I consider quote unquote done. Right. But the idea of doing work in public, and because it's my own IP and I'm not working for a client, I can share it even though it's in its early stages. And the fact of having, what it is I realize I need to give the work the opportunity to make contact with other people and get feedback while I'm still working on it, because that, like you said, just that comment made me rethink how I'm going to lay this out color wise. Because I liked the way the creature cropped it, but I think that being able to see the ears, I was, and because that's the thing. You also, part of it is that when you see the original version where it's covered, you just know that it's a monster. You don't quite know that it's a rat creature. And originally, I liked the idea of people not knowing what kind of monster it is. But I think that there's a benefit, there's a strength to letting people see, oh wait, it looks like a rat, because now it reads like that. So I'm still going to mess with, in terms of adding strokes to the text and drop shadows, and maybe not necessarily contrasting colors. But one of the things I never got around to was I intended to have bars going around the Greek frame, that pattern, because right now it just sort of reads the way it's supposed to. It's not quite finished. So I need to play with it some more. But that's just one of the many things that that's on the to-do list.
That changed everything. Like that's dope. Like that's really, really good. Like they got all the little lines in the squares down at the bottom. Detail. I like those like that, man. That's dope.
Well, I mean, first off, thank you. I appreciate that. But one of the things that I realized, and it's pretty rough in here, there's places where you can see where the lines are uneven and off of perspective. But the idea that I was trying to do was, it's like I'm hiding the perspective grid in the background.
Right.
Like, you just look at that and you're like, oh, it's a tile on the floor. I'm like, yeah, it's a tile on the floor, but it's also a perspective grid. The columns and the way that they're angled, it's like they're, lines moving away from us in perspective. And also, normally when things go up, they move more inward towards a vanishing point as they come in. So the fact that I have them going outward gives you this distorted fisheye lens, which is intentionally what I was going for. Like I wanted people to feel off kilter by doing that. But that's all stuff where it's like, really all that is it's a perspective grid, which is why a lot of times when I'm not a big environment guy, and it's one of the things I want to get better at. But one of the things that I try to do is I try to start by just drawing basically drawing the character inside of a cube and then decorating the cube. That's kind of how I approach backgrounds and environments. But in the meanwhile, still got to figure out how to draw this character's face.
So as far as like the background, are you think you're gonna keep the grid? Like, are you gonna like?
Oh, I'm not gonna. As for that piece, as far as I'm concerned, the background's done. I don't have anything else I'm gonna add to it. Okay. The only thing I want to do is fix the character's face, or really, I keep saying fixing, but what I mean is to find her face because I haven't found her face yet. I have.
Don't Angelina Jolie, like don't like you do too. But I mean, I know you use Tessa Thompson, but like I mean, I don't know, like maybe find what you like about Tessa, and then add somebody else, maybe 3 people, like to create, to create the person that you're trying to look for, in her face, because Tessa's cool. But at the same, like I tend like I think when I was in school, like we would do like a lot of like stuff like I forgot what my teacher how he really called it, but like we would pick words or something to create like characters or story, whatever like that. I'm like, okay, I'll be like, okay, robot, junkie, angry, like words like that, and then create a character out of just like those kind of like words with them.
Well,
like that.
I mean, I already know like her personality is basically like her personality is very similar to Wonder Woman, except for the fact that Wonder Woman,
does Wonder Woman really have a personality?
Yeah, I mean, she's a compassionate warrior, but
you know what? I didn't catch up, but like I started realizing that aspect of her a little bit more later on in life, because I noticed when I watched Super Friends and stuff like that, she didn't really have all that. But like as I started looking at the books more, she is a very compassionate person, I guess. I don't know. Her character still seems kind of.
Well, I mean, the thing you got to remember is also how well a character is defined is it's part of the quality of the writing. So yeah, in Super Friends, I just don't think they did a good job of really conveying who she is. And some people have leaned more into the warrior aspect than others. In the and made her maybe not necessarily really leaning on the compassionate, but really her personality is very in line with I would say Steve Rogers.
Right.
Where Steve Rogers is he will go in and he will bust people up, but he really is, I mean, you could say Superman as well, but Steve Rogers just seems like one of those guys where he's a warrior, but he's not necessarily, he's a soldier, but he's a soldier who is incredibly empathetic and cares about people. Yeah, exactly. And that's sort of how I see Wonder Woman's personality. The difference is that the character that I'm doing from Pandora's Box, she sort of starts out as she is not. I'm depicting her on this cover as a warrior, but she's going to start off the story as kind of a spoiled princess.
Okay.
And the journey is about her growing into the warrior character. So sort of like, what if Wonder Woman started off spoiled? Like, what if Wonder Woman was a spoiled brat and we got to watch the journey of her becoming the Wonder Woman that we know? Because even in the Wonder Woman movies with Gal Gadot, she starts off, she's pretty much like, she doesn't start off as a flawed character. She starts off as a character who is aspirationally, like, really, while she might have family things that she's struggling with, as a person, who she is as a core, she has a very strong sense of self and who she is. and how she wants to conduct herself in the world. Whereas my character is going to start off as she's burdened with a responsibility that she didn't want, and to be honest, does not want to take responsibility for. And how does that change her?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I think it's some aspect of the Zack Snyder's like viewpoint of it. Like he did a little bit of that. I mean, and then it's like, but we didn't know that until the Wonder Woman movie came out, right? So, like how she was very. I think she was very compassionate, like us, and at first, and then as time went on over the years and stuff like that, she became very disgruntled, very don't trust man to do anything. Like, but at the same time, she still had a little bit, like dealing with like on Jeffrey, she was very much like that. Like, she was kind of like how they wrote on there. Like she's very compassionate while still giving out backdrops on people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I love that Wonder Woman. Like, and she could be very compassionate, and then somebody just catch a real hardcore backdrop from us.
You know, and I mean, what's nice is that they had Hawkgirl to contrast her, because people normally think of like, oh, well, she's kind of, they think of Wonder Woman as, yes, she's this, they think of Wonder Woman as the tough one. And then you see Hawkgirl, who, while not as strong as Wonder Woman, she's even more aggro. So it gives you a little bit more contrast. And I think that's kind of the nice thing of seeing a variety of characters where you can see different aspects, women who are all warriors, but they fight in different ways. And that was kind of the cool thing about Justice League. You can see the comparison between Wonder Woman versus Hawkwoman versus Zatanna versus, all of the other characters that end up appearing in the series.
Wonder Woman was like, she was basically telling Hawkgirl to chill sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy.
She was like, hey, you need to pull up.
They said bring back her spin. I mean, they used to do it sometimes on a cartoon, whatever. Like back then, like I mean, I don't know, but maybe they made a couple of Wonder Woman animated movies. They were okay. I had got that one when she was like when she first came from Themyscira. Before, like it was okay. I don't know. I just think she needs to be a little bit more hard. They need to make like another animated Wonder Woman movie. Just make, I don't know, this needs a little bit more hardcore or something like that. I don't know. I'm just, because it's like I'm watching it and I'm getting some of her character, but for some reason at the same time I still feel like something is missing from her. For them to keep like having her being as part of the Trinity 3. It's like she's a powerful character, but it's like, I mean, but I get Superman and I get Batman, definitely get Batman, because what happened to Batman was messed up. Like, as far as like his parents and all that, I can understand why I'm able to go crazy and come back to that. But I could see why for Batman. I could see why for Superman. I don't really see why for Wonder Woman, other than that her mother, they sent her to America to kind of like be like the.
She's an ambassador. That's her why is she's an ambassador.
Yeah, maybe they need to focus on that more, because it just seemed like she was always, to me, it always seemed like she was, when she was around them, she was always standing around. I'm like, why does it seem like you just standing around and I don't know. She just, because I think she deserves more than that, And I mean, they tried, with the movie Out the Door, whatever. The first one was okay. The second one was trash. Then 1984 was garbage. They really did her dirty on that. That was a horrible movie.
I tend to agree, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it, but
because like if you can explain to me, because maybe I'll go back and I haven't watched the movie since it came out. Like if you can give me something where I can probably go back and revisit it, whatever, I would see if I can pick something out of it. But like it just.
Well, I feel like they wasted Pedro Pascal, because he's great as an actor in so many different things, and I just feel like like if they were going to have him play first off, I don't know enough about Max Lord beyond just Justice League International, the Keith Geffen, J.M. DeMatteis version of villain. That's all I know about him is just what's in that book. But I feel like they should have, if they're going to cast him like Pedro Pascal, they should have given him they should have molded the character to fit him more, as opposed to just have him act like this guy who really, I mean, I guess in a way I could say that he was miscast, because there's a quality that he has that they could have made him they could have let him be a better villain. I don't think that they wrote to his strength. Let's see here. And Chris is in the chat. Good to see you, Chris. By the way, thanks for joining up on the Patreon. It's good to have you in here. He says, nice expressions. Yes, thank you. I am going through, so I'm just going to flip back again, because I've been doing that when people are rolling in. But let me flip back to the cover. So the cover that I've been working on, I am quote unquote finished with. So it's Pandora fighting this giant rat creature. And the only thing is, I'm not happy with the face. And when I say that, I don't mean that the face is poorly drawn. The quality of the drawing is fine. I don't have the character's personality down. It's just not there. I can see that. And that's frustrating, because this is the main character. And I've done like whole sheets of, expressions of the character in the past. Here, turn these off. Trying to get her personality down, and I think that I rushed into the cover and I still don't have it, and I need to just sit and draw a ton of her face until I've got it.
Yeah, you think you're going to spend like a week on it? Like maybe just spend a week on it, and then.
Well, I definitely need to sleep on that cover, because I literally just finished that, like I think a couple days ago, or like I think either yesterday or on Friday.
I say spend a week on it. Like if you really care about, spend a week on her face. Just try to figure out. And like I said, even if you have to go out and do people watching to find the face that you're looking for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that doing people watching, just putting on a bunch of old movies and looking at faces, look at different actors, put on an Angelina Jolie, put on some Good Times.
Yeah, I mean, like little stuff like this. What's her name? Like what's her name? Kerry Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she's a beautiful.
You know what? That I hadn't thought about Kerry Washington. That's a good point.
Her and Angela Bassett, like they have like kind of like similar traits in their face. But one thing I noticed about Kerry Washington is when she talks, she gets this little crinkle over her nose and her mouth. It's like cute, whatever. So it's like, and Angelina Jolie. I mean, Kerry Washington, and I also noticed that Angela Bassett also has like that little little crinkle, like little details like that. So when they smile or something like that, you can find something. That's why I was like, just you can find somebody. You can find somebody, and maybe like a multitude of different people that that you can probably pick from. Like I said, maybe it could be Angelina Jolie eyes or lips or something, or it could be the way Thelma face is shaped, like or her mannerisms and stuff like that. You
know what I just realized, and this comes from the fact that I focus so much on volume, and I never have spent a lot of time working on learning how to do shape design well. I don't have the shape of her skull well defined. Her skull is a generic skull, and I really need to, before I even get into the facial features, I need to get that skull shape worked out.
Dylan asked, what emotions is she supposed to be portraying?
Oh, well, on the cover, she's supposed to be portraying bravery in the determination in the face of terror. And this face just does not do it. It absolutely does not convey that at all. This looks like she's looking at the menu at Starbucks and saying, do I want a mochaccino or do I want to get a hibiscus tea? Like that. That's what she looks like. She looks like she's placing an order. She does not look like she's facing a giant monster. But that's getting the expression down is secondary to even having a character who feels like how I want the character's face to feel. So I need to play with these things. And that was the reason why I brought up these Rapunzel expression sheets. It was just as a starting point, just trying to draft off of you know.
How old is the character look like? Because I was thinking, like, have you ever see the show Disney Plus? It was like the Acolytes, the young sister that was playing the lead character. Like, she has a sweet face.
Mhm.
Like, she's so I was like, maybe her, because she kind of looked like her a little bit, like you know, her head shape or her face, facial features. She's a very beautiful young woman.
Yeah, that's another one to look at.
Yeah, she got nice and she's sweet. Like,
Mhm.
yo, where? I was telling my friend, I said, yo, that girl was like, she's nice, man. I was like,
Mhm.
and my homegirl, she was like, she said, you know who that is, right? I was like, no. I said, it's a grown woman right there. She was like, no, that was the little girl that was on the Hunger Games, whatever. I said, what?
You mean the
I said,
little
the
young
little black girl? Yup,
what?
yup.
All
That's
right.
She stepped up, didn't she? Yeah.
Good for
I
her.
was like, yo, right. I was like, good for her. You know, I was like, wow. I said, I would have never known. They was like,
Now let me out. Here's the thing. Acolytes got caught up in all of that anti-woke
I know.
sentiment.
I'm right.
How was it?
It was. See, that's the thing about it. It was, when I watched it. It was good. Kind of like how Marvel, the Marvels was.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel movie was actually okay,
Mm-hmm.
but because of all this woke stuff and all this stuff like that, I think it came out during the wrong time, and I think people weren't giving it a chance. And same thing with the Acolytes. Like, they were just rough time for those movies to be out or shows to be out, and the show was actually, it wasn't that bad. It was different, but I could see how easily, like, because when the fans, they were just on this, oh, hey, that's woke. I'm sick and tired of that woke stuff. You know, it's like, honestly, it's like they just don't really want to see women in roles like that. And I get it. I don't want to be like throwing women in roles that just be throwing them in a role and then making them seem like this and powerful. I mean, for instance, like I when I first saw The Force Awakens, whatever, I thought it was okay. But then by the time that second one came, like, they pissed. I was pissed off just with the fans. Like, they wrecked it. It just seemed like, I'm like, yo, how the hell is she? They made her so powerful. She had no reason for doing what she was doing. They were just pushing this thing to make her so much more powerful than anybody. I'm like, it just didn't really make any sense. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, Anakin was powerful too, but I understood where Anakin was coming from. Like, Anakin was born from the midichlorians. I don't know if they even said that she was born from the midichlorians.
Yeah, but I mean, but even that was one of those where they
it was crazy, man. Anakin was like, you know, he came from out of nowhere. He's born through osmosis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess they kind of make him like a Jesus child or whatever. But like, but you know, it was crazy because when they was talking about, like, he was too old, whatever, like, you know, become a Jedi. I was like, well, he's 8 years old. Ain't that the perfect age to start training or whatever? They was like, he was already too old, and he already been through emotionally, because I think dealing with being a Jedi, you have to be like emotion, like everything, like all that has to be intact. They have to find you at the very beginning, like when your emotions not everywhere. His emotions were everywhere. By the time Anakin was like 8 years old, you must say he was a grown man. He'd been through so much as a slave and all that stuff like that. He was just all messed up. And then just for him to even have the ability to have like powers like that, it was just a scary thing. And you can see why he became so powerful with the hang and all that. It was, I can understand, you know, like I said, but like, I don't know.
Well, you know, I mean, really, all of it, they never really got back to the whole Qui-Gon Jinn of it all, because Qui-Gon was the one who insisted that Ben train him. Ben was like, yo, we should, no. Right. That's not his fault.
Straight up, no. Like,
he was just like, no. But his master asked him, he said, well, my master's dying wish. I'm a good Jedi. I'm going to listen to my master. I'm going to do what he said. I'm going to train this kid. Shouldn't have done it.
Overall, like he said, and remember, it was a part in that movie where, what's the name? Qui-Gon said to him that he was much more of a Jedi than he ever probably would be because of that because he was an addict. Ben had a very good foresight.
Mhm.
You know, more I guess more than him. But he was like you said, he was doing what he was trying to be good and listen to his master. But like,
Yeah.
look what happened. See what
Didn't
I'm
work
saying?
out. Didn't work out.
40 years.
All that because Qui-Gon was like, you got to train him. A lot of problems. Yeah, you know, but you know what's funny is by the way, Dylan, that's a really good suggestion. He said my best idea is to make her look a little angry to get that kind of determination look. Yeah, you're right. I definitely need to I think is specifically for the cover image. I'm working on two different problems because the problem one is that the face for that cover image isn't working, but two, I don't really understand my main character. I know what her personality is supposed to be and how it changes over the arc of the story, but I haven't figured out a way to really express that on the page. I don't know her face intimately yet. And that's a problem when you're doing a comic and you're going to have to, I mean, I have joked, and I've said this on the stream in the past, that you shouldn't like the best time to design your characters is once the book is done. In this, because once you need to draw them so many times, like it's like you need to draw like 4 issues worth of a character before you know them well enough that you're like, oh yeah, I know this person now. I feel like when I was working on the Western on Morningstar, I didn't really know my characters honestly until probably about the 5th or 6th issue out of an 8-issue series.
Well, I mean, that's good.
I mean, better late than never is what I'm saying, but still.
I know, like, I mean, is she stoic? Is she quiet?
She is.
If you always have a mean face on a like
her
face, you know, or is she a smiley person? But this in this situation right there, she's
you know what? I got it. You know what it is?
What is it?
You remember? I forget the character's name, but the older sister on the Fresh Prince, Hillary. Her personality. Imagine if Hillary, basically, Hillary is forced into fighting monsters in Greek mythology. That's what it is. It's a story about Hillary, and it's a story of Hillary growing up. Her personality is Hillary. That's what it is. She's Hillary. In fact, that's who I'm going to base the fan. That's what I need to do. I need to go pull that now. That's the real. See, Tessa Thompson is who I was envisioning, like actor-wise. Huh?
You want her to get to that.
I want her to get to that, but she starts off as Hillary.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense.
I love this. Both Dylan in the chat, both Dylan and Chris said the same thing about not knowing your character. He's like, yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem.
But if going into a situation now, I can see that she's going to grow into Tessa Thompson. Like, okay, I understand that now.
Yeah, that's.
I understand that. That's why I'm like Wonder Woman. I still don't really. I mean, to a certain degree, I do. Like I said, it depends on the different writers and how many people that get a hold of her. But like, and you get this weird. I don't know. Like she was just to me. I always thought that she was everywhere. One time I really got to think like vision of how Wonder Woman was when Dwayne McDuffie was writing her and they was doing all those the animated stuff for her on the cartoon. Like I understood exactly who that Wonder Woman was. You know, she seemed nice. She seemed sweet. At the same time,
but she will mess you up.
Man, yeah, she was very strong, and I understood that. You know, and then it's like, and then sometimes her character used to come off to the point where she was so. I felt like sometimes when they really get to like her soft side, and I would forget until I see that backdrop. Just backdrop somebody. I'm like, oh, there she go again. You know, and she strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, yeah, I get it. She's up there with Superman. You know, Superman. She's a god. You know. So I get it, but yeah, I completely get it now. Like I see, so she's a mess. So in that instance right there, in that picture that we see Shorty like holding that baby, like, what and now makes you want to think like, yo, what did she get? How did she get to that point? Like, because I mean, maybe she need to have like an angry face on there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You have to pick all that throughout the book, like how you like, oh my god, because people gonna be like, oh my god, he is a mess. Like, how more she will get to the point where she's like to become a warrior? She's saving babies and people and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there's going to be little things in the story where you're like, the first thing is teaching her how to fight. Because in the first story, believe it or not, even though she is dressed as a warrior there, the first story is much more kind of like Ripley in the first Alien, where yeah, Ripley is resourceful, but she's not fighting the way she does in the James Cameron one. So in the first one, she's mostly trying to escape and evade the monsters. And then in the second story, you're going to find out how she learns to fight.
Well, see, I think in those movies, like, see that, and that's, I'm glad you picked, like, yeah, Ripley, I think she's always been Ripley. Like, she's always been the same person. And when by the time when she came out in the second one about aliens, whatever, it was the same woman. It's just that now it was just the situation changing. Like, you just didn't. I mean, you just never would have expected her to step up like that. But like, why would she? Because I mean, I don't know. I just think it's weird how I think James Cameron did a good job as far as like, because I think it's the same woman. It's the same woman, but just like.
Well, it's the same woman having gone through the experience of the first movie. The first movie changed her. The first movie made her realize there are very dangerous things in the universe that will try to murder you, and you need to be ready to fight them.
Yeah, Aliens was a classic, yo. Because I love it because those people, they was talking all that smack to her, and she was just like, yo, I've been there. They was just like, oh, shut up. But by the time when those aliens came around, they was in there crying, trying to get out of there. You know, so yeah, it was that her. You know, because she said she been there, she done that, she know what it was like. You know, that. Maybe want to watch Aliens. I haven't watched that in a minute. I gotta check.
You know, and honestly, even the David Fincher one, I know it's not a great movie, but I love Sigourney Weaver's performance in that movie because at that point, see, the first movie forged her into from a survivor to a warrior. Right. The second movie made her from a warrior to almost a monster, because now she's like quasi, like not quite human, like she's got one that's gestating inside of her, but also like she like the fear is gone because she's like, I've gone as far as you can being afraid. Now it's them, and it's just she's like, I'm as much a predator now as they are.
Right. It's like, can you? I mean, that's the thing about like, it's a good point you brought up. Like, it's just, can you imagine just possibly a monster, but yet a mother? Yeah, there you go, Dylan. Exactly. That's and Dylan. That's what made her a monster. Because she was a mother, yo. Like that, just don't mess with nobody's kids, yo.
No, don't mess with the kids. Don't mess with the kids.
And guess who found out? The aliens. Found out.
Yep.
Out, right?
Which
and they were the scariest thing. They were vicious creatures, but like, yo, she was that much more vicious.
Yeah, which, by the way, now that reminds me, I need to carve out some time. First of all, I need to talk my wife into watching Alien Earth, because I showed her the first. She had never seen the very first Alien before, and I showed her that I think like a year ago because I was like, you got to see it. It's a classic. And we forget that it's a movie that came out in 1980. The pacing is a lot slower. It's as terrifying as we remember, but we've seen so many things built on the shoulders of that movie since that it kind of feels like, you know when things are going to come, when things are coming, when the tension is building. The pace of it getting to the things is a little bit slower versus the original. Well, no, that's what I'm talking about. The original one is what I showed her because she had never seen it, and she was like, "Oh, okay." But I'm saying compare that to the one that was directed by the guy that directed the Evil Dead reboot, and that's like a non-stop like roller coaster. Because even before the aliens get there, just the action of them trying to get off planet and escape, like there was plenty of action in that movie before you got to the aliens.
It's just, I'll probably watch it again probably tonight or something like that. But it's been a minute since I saw it, but but I need to check out the first one again so I can lead up to that point. Because I mean, I haven't watched the first one in a long time, so I'll probably do an aliens and then do an aliens.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that new TV show just started on FX.
I haven't checked that out yet.
Yeah, that's on my list, but I it's going to be kind of a hard sell because I showed my wife she was not impressed with the original Alien. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh wow, hey, that's
Well, but that's the thing. She didn't watch it in the 80s. She watched it for the first time in 2020. She watched it for the first time, like, what is it? Is it? It can't be 50 years because I'm not that old. 40. She's watching it 40 years after it originally came out. 40 or 45 years afterwards, and so much of what we see in movies was inspired by that. That's like
right.
the original just didn't affect her.
Wow.
So I kind of want, and the thing is, I ended up watching the new one, the one that was directed by I forget what the subtitle is, but the one was directed by the guys who did the Evil Dead reboot, and I loved it, and it was fire. But I watched that on my own because I was like, I don't feel like waiting until she's in the mood to watch it, so I'm just gonna watch it because I figured she probably may not even care anyway. We'll see. We'll have to see if I can get her on board because the problem is that I just have so little time to watch movies that usually it's usually we agree on something to watch together, and that's
Right.
what I get to watch. I have very little time to watch stuff just by myself. Although what I'm thinking about doing is maybe trying to set up a TV in my studio and just put on movies that are very talky, so I can just watch stuff, so I can listen to stuff more than watch. So we'll see. But I was gonna say we are Dylan said 40 plus years. Yeah, I think it's about 45 years since it came out. Oh yeah, and Dylan also said when we found out that Newt and the rest of the crew died, I flipped. Table flip energy.
So mad, yo.
Uh-huh.
I was so mad about that. Like, yeah, I was like, yo,
Mhm.
after all they did, like to get away from it, and then all of a sudden the third one, it was just like, wow, yeah, I'm gonna take them out.
I mean, the point of that movie was I think it was meant to wrap up the franchise at that point.
Right.
And it was meant to be a very grim, very dark. I mean, David Fincher for as much as David Fincher has even said that it wasn't his best work, but I think for what the movie was meant to be, he was the perfect director. So I mean, it is a grim, dark, intense movie. And it is there's lots of films that are imperfect that I enjoy. I won't tell people, oh, you should see this. I'll just say I got a lot out of it. And for as much crap as Aliens 3 got, I got a lot out of it. Chris, I just want to mention real quick, Chris asked if I'd heard Skin Breaker from David Finch and Kirkman. I've heard of it, but I haven't read any information on it yet. And for the most part, these days I tend to be a trade waiter only because I don't have time to, go. First off, I moved. I don't live anywhere near a regular shop. But secondly, it's one of those things where my to-read list is so far behind that I'm just sort of like, I've got stuff I'm still reading from like the late 80s, and 90s. There's tons of old, like I've only read a handful of Love and Rockets. I want to read through all of that. There's stuff like old Mark Waid comics and Dwayne McDuffie comics that I haven't read. I've never read any of Christopher Priest's Black Panther run. There's tons of stuff that are just on my list to read that I haven't had a chance to read. But that said, I do very much enjoy Robert Kirkman. I love Invincible. I loved Walking Dead. Honestly, I'm probably going to read Fire Breather before I read Skin Breakers, only because Chris Samnee is probably one of, if not my favorite working comic book artist right now. He's the modern day Alex Toth. But yeah, I have heard of Skin. Well, Chris, real quick, I'm just curious if you bringing it up, whether you enjoyed it or what your thoughts were, because it sounds like you were just asking what my thoughts on it were, and my thoughts are I haven't gotten to it yet. It'll probably be dope because Finch and Kirkman, but I'm curious if you had any reaction. And just to let you guys know, we're at about an hour 20, so we're gonna wrap it up very shortly. Just after see if there's any more to discuss on Skin Breakers. Other than that, I think we're gonna bring things to a close. And I'm gonna try and do the Patreon live stream this evening, but I have sort of a weird afternoon with some family obligations, so I don't know whether I'm gonna do it early, like around 2 to 3, or whether I'm going to do it around, later, like around 4 or 5. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Well, I may have time to do it earlier because some stuff is just shifting. But anyway, let's wrap stuff up here. Let me see. Was there anything more? Well, anyway, all right, Skin Breakers. Nothing more to say on that, but I will look more into it because I like Kirkman and I like Finch. But so I've got a sheet full of sketches. I think part of this, believe it or not, as much as I enjoy talking and drawing, I can focus. I'm going to have to sit and sketch just with some music on and focus and really get a sense of her face, because none of these sketches really do anything for me.
Oh, man.
So like inking and coloring, those are all things I can do very easily on a live stream. But when it comes to the actual reaching in to myself and pouring my soul out, I can do it, but I can't talk to anybody while I'm doing it. So
Right.
that there are limits to what I'm able to focus on while drawing in front of people. So, but hey, Herman, always good to chop it up. So definitely thank you for jumping in and hopping on the mic.
It's all good.
Okay, guys. Let's see here. All right. So on that note, if you guys enjoy this live streams, like to get additional bonus live streams twice a month, like the one I'm going to do later today, you can get them for as little as $2 a month. Head on over to patreon.com/Jeremy. It's patreon.com/GERIMI. Also get you access to our Patreon exclusive Discord server, so you can hop onto the voice channel like Herman here, and archive where you can read my comics online digitally. If you'd like to get a free digital sketchbook, work in progress animated GIFs delivered right to your inbox, blog posts about what I'm reading, what I'm watching, what's inspiring me creatively, you can sign up for my free newsletter at substack.com/@Jeremy. And if you'd like to purchase physical copies of my comic books, or if you read digitally on Kindle, you can go to amazon.jeremy.net. They'll forward you to my Amazon author page. You can pick up books like my first graphic novel, Eye of the Gods. It's a psychological thriller about a man cursed with visions he cannot control. You can also pick up my most recent project, Morningstar. It's a retelling of Lucifer's Fall from Heaven as a Western. Volume 1 contains issues 1 through 4. Volume 2 contains the conclusion, issues 5 through 8. Both have extensive back matter, character designs, thumbnails, page layouts, and more. I basically show you how I put the entire thing together. And so go check those out. And if you go to the homepage of my YouTube channel, scroll down to book flip throughs, you can see what's inside the books before picking them up. All right, guys. And Herman, thanks for the reminder. People, hit that like button. New viewers, hit that subscribe button. Everybody else, if you know other people that enjoy conversations like this, please share it. Thanks, guys. That's it for now. Go be creative. All right. I got to actually dash out the door real quick. So, all right, man. All right. Take it easy. Peace.